This week's episode is sponsored by the Brilliant Futures Institute. If that emotion is communicated so clearly and you have so much conviction for it, they're not going to be thinking about the price. They're saying, I want that, and how do I get that from you? They will ask you how to get it. Ask yourself, how do I make the value of what I'm selling so high that the price becomes irrelevant? Welcome to the Preeminence Podcast.
You cannot be a courageous leader if you're not vulnerable.
Your legacy is every life you've touched.
The only thing that changes our life long term is when we raise our standards.
And now is the time to take risk.
The way it's always been done isn't necessarily the way it should be done.
What is your dream? What do you think 2050, 2100 is going to look like?
The most incredible sort of mystery, I think, is now the question of what comes next.
Stay hungry, stay foolish.
Welcome to the Preeminence Podcast. I'm your host, Matthew J. Peters. Visit preeminence.tv to learn more about how to create a preeminent presence for your business, organization, or personal brand. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud, or just ask Alexa to play the Preeminence Podcast. I have a question for you today. Could you sell what you sell right now for far more than what you've been asking? If it's a yes, then how much is that costing you? I want you to think about this because I find so many people who are broke who are really good at what they do. I saw this first with musicians when I was growing up, amazing musicians who were broke. I also saw people who were terrible musicians who were just marketed really well. Same thing with a lot of marketers selling their stuff. They're just really good at marketing materials. And what I found is that a lot of people are afraid to sell. They're afraid to put themselves out there and have that awkward conversation. And I don't really talk about sales a lot because I don't really offer a lot. I sell, but I don't really offer a lot. You know, one of the people that had purchased a $25,000 program from me, she said, Matthew, it's so hard to buy from you. I said, what do you mean? And she said, you never made me the offer. And so she had to pull it out of me. And that really helped me realize that there's so many of us out there that don't want to sell, or we just don't sell. And it's costing us a tremendous amount of money. It's costing us so much. Think about it. This phrase came to me. It said, make the value of what you're selling so high that the price becomes irrelevant. Make the value of what you are selling so high that the price becomes irrelevant. You see, the people I've found who are the most successful are completely sold out to what they're doing, what they're selling. It's a foregone conclusion that they are offering the very best, and they are only offering the very best to the right people. Where does that leave you? Do you find that you're not making as many sales as you would want to? Have you really thought about what it is you're selling? Now, out of all the people that I've helped and I've talked to about this, imagine if you are selling acai bowls, all right, $5, $7, $10. What are they selling? Acai bowls. How about the coach that's helping somebody through their divorce? What are they selling? Or that person who creates a designer suit for VIPs. What are they selling? And my parents own a childcare center. What are they selling? One of my clients is helping people overcome trauma. What are they selling? You see, they're not selling their service. They're selling the emotion that comes from the result of what their service provides. I want you to think about that. What is the emotion people are receiving at the end when they are working with you? Sometimes that emotion starts when they click the button and send you money. The relief begins. But until you offer, until they say yes and they transfer a value of their money for the value you're going to bring, they remain in that tension of being stuck in their stuff. I want you to think about what emotions are you selling? Are you selling happiness, power, acceptance, peace, love, safety. If I am helping people get through trauma, what am I really selling? Maybe peace of mind, peace in their spirit, peace in their family. Someone has PTSD, they've had it for 20 years, 30 years, to have relief from that, to not be sleepless, to not have bursts of anger. There's peace there. The underlying thing they're selling is peace. Or what about that acai bowl? It's I can't even pronounce this. Acai fruit. And they have all kinds of healthy ingredients. What are they selling? They may be selling some happiness there. They're selling health. I'm making a healthy choice, and I'm willing to pay 1.5 to maybe 2 times what I spend at McDonald's or at Chipotle or whatever, because I really want something that is going to nourish my body, that what is in here is actually going to feed me. It's going to be a good building block for my body. They're selling happiness in the moment, but they also know that there's a legacy to what they are putting in their body. What about the gentleman who designs suits for you? How about the feeling of power? The feeling of power in the conversation, the feeling of power on that stage, knowing that they're commanding the presence and they are looking their very best. They're congruent on the outside to who they knew they were on the inside. Finally, someone can package me in such a way that resembles what is in my spirit, what is in my heart. There's a satisfaction to that. So I want you to think about what it is you're truly selling and think through that as you're creating your offer. When you're creating your offer, one of the things I sell is identity. Who is it that you truly are? What have you been marketing yourself out in the marketplace as, been struggling with? Or the things that you've been selling aren't congruent with your spirit. You're not enjoying selling it. You're not enjoying making it. You're not enjoying delivering it. Why are you doing it? Or it's a struggle every time you have a conversation. Or something just doesn't feel right. Something's out of sync. It's because you're not doing what you're designed to do. You need to find out your true identity and then create a mission, a vision, and know your purpose. Once you have those things and you claim them as your own, you have this conviction that drives you. This is what happened to me. I was doing a lot of stuff that just was not congruent with me. I'd hire mentors, I hired coaches, and they were teaching me to do stuff that was just starting to get me really frustrated. One mentor in particular, it was like a flavor of the month. Here's what we're going to be selling this month. Here's what we're going to be selling the next month. And it just kept going on and on and on. And after a while, I was just getting really confused. And I realized I was just selling stuff. One of the things they were saying is, here's what's hot right now. Go sell that. Here's how you put a product together for that. Here's how you grab this information off the internet. Here's how you borrow this from other articles and so forth. Here's how you can trick the system. That really was draining my spirit. And if you don't know the emotion you're getting from what you're selling, it may be the same as the emotion you're selling. What emotion are you selling? And is it that really that same thing that you're feeding yourself? If it is, that's a great area of alignment. So stick with that. Make the value of what you're selling so high that the price becomes irrelevant. If that emotion is communicated so clearly and you have so much conviction for it, they're not going to be thinking about the price. They're saying, I want that, and how do I get that from you? They will ask you how to get it. If you right now are having people ask you how much it costs, they're now putting into balance, like, is it worth hanging on to that money to spend it on something else, or is it worth it for me to buy this thing from you now? What if everything that you sold, you could track 10 to 100 times return on their investment? If you're selling something for $1,000, over the lifetime of that person applying what it is that you had taught them, you have provided for them, you created for them, you produce for them, over that lifetime of that individual, are they going to see a 10x or 100x return on their investment? If you're going to hire someone and they're going to help you with your investments, what if they said, I can 10 times your money in the next 30 days, 60 days, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. At some point, you would say, I don't care what I need to put in here. If you can 10x my money, if you can 10x my health, if you can 10x my relationship, if you can 10x my peace, if you can 10x my power, my feeling of personal power, how much money can I give you? If someone said to you that they could double your money every year, and there's no limit to how much you could give to them to invest for you, how much would you give? How much would you invest if you knew that next month you could have 50% more money than you did this month by making an investment? Would you maybe put $10 in, $100, $1,000, $10,000? Would you even borrow money if you knew that you could double your money every month and it was a guarantee? If you can sell something and in your mind you know this individual is ready to purchase that training from you, that coaching from you, or that individual, I want to take it back down to the little retail thing too. If someone is going to buy an acai bowl from you, and you know you're going to charge $12 or $10, and you know that that's going to nourish them, give them happiness, and over the course of them coming back time after time, their health is going to improve. So much more so than when they were going to lunch and getting a burger. They know that they're feeding their soul, their body, and there's a happiness with that, but there's also a legacy in the health. Can you sell something with confidence that is going to give someone a 10x, a 20x, a 100x return on their investment? You see, the people that I've helped in the past, the people that I'm helping get clarity, have a vision, know what their purpose is and define it, and have conviction for what they sell. You can't put a price on that because now I see them making tens of thousands of dollars a month. I see their confidence so high because they finally figured out who they are. They know how to clearly communicate their message and their mission. And some of them even say, you know what? I want to take this beyond my mission. I want to create a brilliant future for humanity, for our environment, for their industry. They want to change things and they want to start a movement. You can't do any of that if you don't know who you are and why you're doing it. You can't do any of that if you don't have a vision for the future. If you do not have a vision, you will perish. It's not only biblical, it's true. It's the fact. You will not be followed if you do not know where you're going. If you're wandering, people will not wander with you. So here's what I want you to think about. Can I offer something with conviction that I know that this individual is going to get a 10 or 100 times return on investment for what they invest in me today? That's number one. Number two, what is the emotion that I'm selling? What is the end result emotion? Take what it is that you're selling and break it down to after someone's processed what it is that you sold. What is that giving them? If you're helping them make more money, maybe it's security. Maybe it's freedom. And third, I want you to ask yourself, how do I make the value of what I'm selling so high that the price becomes irrelevant? That's it for today. Please let me know if you find this useful. If you want to continue the conversation, go ahead, send me an email at the letter M at ascend.net. That's ascend, ASYND.net. Or go to ascend.net/elevation and you'll see the new program we're about to release. I'm very excited about it. Stay tuned. Subscribe, share this episode, share this podcast. I thank you so much for being a subscriber and a listener to the Preeminence Podcast. Thank you for listening to the Preeminence Podcast. Subscribe to hear powerful interviews and insights each week automatically downloaded the moment they go live. Share this episode with your team, your friends, and post it on social media. Let us know your comments and suggestions for the show at m@ascend.net. That's the letter M at ASYND.net.